You know, this is the time of year where people are getting out there, they're hitting the greens. My husband's probably out there right now. And
Love
a
it.
lot of times people are thinking that it's always in the club. That's what I hear. It's your form, it's the club. You're saying that in part, it's the ball. Talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, the golf ball is the only piece of equipment that you're actually using on every single shot. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, clubs are important. Your swing and all the fundamentals and that stuff is incredibly important. But the ball does have a huge impact on your game, and a lot of people, I think, don't understand that. Depending on how they swing, how hard they swing, their personal preferences, it's going to have ripple effect on not only how much they enjoy the game, but how well they play the game. You know, somebody who has maybe a really slower swing speed should not be playing a ball, for instance, that has a higher compression. Um, the everyday golfer doesn't necessarily know their own swing speed or what compression means and everything, which is why, with OnCore, for one, we created perimeter weighting technology. So we're the only company in the world to do that, and only second company since 1926 to actually get the USGA to rewrite the rules to allow new technology in. And the whole point of that was to make a more accurate ball. But then we also make 4 models to address the different needs and performance benefits for different, skill level players. So I'm not sure how good or bad your husband is. I would say most golfers aren't very good, and that's what makes it so frustrating. But I can pretty much guarantee we've got, the right ball for the right skill set.
So talk to me about what are the benefits of the right ball?
Yeah, I mean, for one, you're going to want to be able to get something that matches. Going back to your swing speed, for instance, if you have a high compression ball, but you have a low swing speed, all the compression is really talking about is how hard is it to make that ball deform on impact and then rebound. I don't know if you've ever seen a golf ball hit in slow motion. You see it almost pancakes. Well, if you're not able to make that ball pancake, then you're not going to get as much distance out of it. So, a slower swing speed might want something that is a lower compression, for instance. That's just a basic thing. But then, a lot of players really like to have a soft feel, so depending on what kind of cover you're looking for in a golf ball. A lot of people, that whole short game, your chips and everything are all about how much spin you can put on a ball, and some players like more spin, some players like less spin. There's no right or wrong as to which you should have. That is more of a preference thing and how you might hit the ball. So I always think it's good to try and figure out a little bit about your game, whether it's through a pro or just doing some kind of introspective learning on how you hit so that you can make the right choice for you, because it does make a big difference. It's a hard enough game as it is. The last thing you want to be doing is making it harder by playing the wrong golf ball, for your game. You want something more tailored for your type of attributes.
I mean, you bring up a very good point, because I'm a member of a golf club right now, a country club, and I have not gone out there one time. That's because I feel like my game is trash. So with that being said, Bret, I want to talk to you about the ball. Is it one type of ball that you have, or do you have different balls? And then what makes them different from me, for example, going to Dick's Sporting Goods and just grabbing a bunch of balls? Because that's typically what most golfers do. They grab a bunch of balls, or they accept balls as gifts, and they're not looking at the type and how heavy it is, how light it is, any of that.
Yeah, so we have 4 models currently. We have 2 more models coming out, probably a soft launch in the holiday season and a larger launch in 2026. They actually both just won gold medals on Golf Digest Hot List, which is great. But they are ranging in both, attributes and compression from low to high, and even the type of cover and spin rate. So what we kind of suggest is, on our website, OnCoreGolf.com, that's OnCore with an O, we have a ball fitting quiz. So it will ask, what ball do you typically play now? What are some of your preferences? If you know your swing speed, you can enter it there. But we've got an algorithm that will, that should point them to the right model that we have. But the biggest thing that is nice about our unique technology, which is that perimeter weighting, is it is going to create a way tighter shot dispersion. In layman's terms, it's going to be way more accurate, especially on the miss hits. So perimeter weighting creates a much quicker reduction in spin when you mishit it. If you said your game is trash, well, a lot of people's game is trash. Mine's often trash, but if you are going to put a hook or a slice when you see that ball, veering off left or right at a fast, rapid rate, it's because you put side spin on it, and you want that to come to a stop as quick as possible. So perimeter weighting is going to do that. Easiest metaphor to understand is if you've ever seen a figure skater go into a spin, when they want to speed up, their legs and arms are inward. When they want to come to a stop, they stick their leg and arms outward, and that is creating that reduction and slow down and spin.
So Tia had mentioned, a lot of times you go to Dick's Sporting Goods, you just buy a bunch of balls. What are we looking like price-wise? Is this something that we have to invest in, or can we afford to grab a few of these balls?
Yeah, so golf is expensive overall. We've always tried to really be focusing on growing the game and making it accessible for everyone in every capacity, and financially is part of it too. It's especially when you're not very good. It's a hard ask to say, hey, you're going to pay $60 for 12 balls when you're probably going to lose all of them in one round. We don't want to do that. So although we are, we're not the cheapest ball in the market, because we don't want people to think that, this is not a real technology. We do make it very affordable. We have loyalty programs. The models range anywhere from $20 a dozen all the way up to $40 a dozen, which is extremely affordable for the fact that these are literally award-winning balls. We didn't want to break anyone's bank. We want them coming back for more. And the nice thing too is, with us being a mostly online company, direct to consumer, we did it that way for a reason, because we wanted to make sure that we could offer the golf balls at a affordable price. Whereas when you go into a Dick's or go into other places, oftentimes it would be very hard for us to put the price at what it is, because we have to give it to them at such low margins. So, we really want to make sure that we make this an easy purchase and good experience. And it's, literally every day it's people that are saying, man, I used to play nothing but Pro V1s, and now they're in my shag bag. They come back to us time and time again because they do see a difference in the importance of a golf ball and getting the right one.
Let me ask you something. You look like you've been golfing already today. What made you
I've got golf league this afternoon. That's why.
Okay. I'm like, he has on his golf attire.
Yeah.
What made you create this? What made you say, hey, I think this technology could be beneficial to other people?
Yeah, so I wish I was smart enough to have created the technology. It's actually a group of engineers that we were just fortunate to have known. But my buddy Steve and I had met years ago when I was living in New York City for a while. And I don't know if you remember, but a while back, the job market tanked, and back in 2008, and I was in international marketing and he was in finance, but he had played golf, and I love sports. So we kind of married the two passions of, love of marketing and love of sports and financial background, and approached the engineers about, hey, we would love to commercialize, your concept of perimeter weighting technology and build something really different and unique and grow the game through diversity and inclusion, and just kind of be the anti-elitist golf ball company, which we felt had been kind of the status quo for a long time. And that's been our goal since day one, is being, differentiated from a brand and culture standpoint, and differentiated from a technology standpoint. And it's been really fun. The people that we have gotten to meet, the people that have, come on board, whether it's as investors or ambassadors, everyone from Josh Allen, our QB in Buffalo, to Anthony Anderson and Cedric the Entertainer. We've got quite an interesting, group of people that are involved, which is really fun.
So golf right now is becoming super trendy. I know you just mentioned a few celebrities. How is your brand making it more inclusive for everyone else? People who might not know much about the sport.
Yeah, so we, really since day one, that wasn't our mission statement, and we have made a commitment to partnering with organizations and groups that share in that ideology and those efforts. So everything from junior golf, we've gotten very involved with junior golf and helping kids get started to veterans programs. PGA Hope is a great one that we work with. They really help, veterans who have seen and been through a lot get back on their feet through the game of golf. We try and do a lot with women's golf. We do a ton in the diversity space. So it's really just partnering with like-minded organizations, because we know that we do have a suite of golf balls that really can address and be good for such an array of skill sets. And so we feel like there's nobody that we shouldn't be partnering with anyway, because there's good golfers and bad golfers, in every demographic, in veterans and kids and women. I mean, there are kids at some of these camps that we go to, or kids that we work with. I mean, they just put us to shame. I'm 40. I'll be 44 at the end of this month, and I'm looking at a 10-year-old who I'm just like in envy of, swinging. I'm like, man, wish I'd started sooner, but it's really fun being able to have a small part in, pushing the game in the right direction as we think it should be.
Bret, before we let you go, you mentioned where people can find out more about OnCore. Where can they go? Are you on all social media platforms as well?
Yep, we're on all social media. It's just, so it's OnCore Golf, OnCore Golf, OnCoreGolf.com. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. Come by the website. If somebody has seen this, feel free to message us on Instagram or any of the socials and say, hey, I saw you guys, on Fox on Chicago, and we'll be happy to send them a little, discount off their first purchase or what have you. So feel free to reach out. Like I said, we want to make this as easy as possible and bring more people into the family. We've always treated OnCore, and hope that everybody that comes in feels like they're part of a family, not part of just a customer.
Very well said. Bret Blakely, it's been a pleasure speaking with you and great meeting you as well.